Welcome to Beijo's Corner. I am Danielle, and these are the Beijoettes. Hit it!
Beijo!
Beijo! Beijo! Woo! Yeah! We would like to welcome you today to our speaking engagement. Today we're going to be featuring cat and dog whispering consultations. What I want to say is there's so much weirdness out there that this is not what this is about. Basically, cat whispering and dog whispering is connecting to your animal on an intuitive level. Okay? Animals are always trying to communicate with us, just sometimes the message gets lost in translation along the way. And at Beijo's Corner, we basically unite families and pets around the world. We give them a loving environment to promote humane children and celebrate pets. That's what we're about, in a nutshell. We really believe that there is no bad pet, okay? They're just a misunderstood one. There's ways to get through, whether they need some medical help or just some therapy like us. They're very much like us. And I really, really believe in drugs as a last alternative method, okay? Because there's so many holistic things. If you change diet, just like with people, it changes the chemicals in them and you can get the results you want out of your pet. The cat and dog whispering consultations is a 5-step system where you have your consultation, your pet profile. Your pet gets their own profile, their name, their age, their gender, what they're about, their personalities, and all of that. And then we start with the diagnosing and solving the problem, whatever challenges you're going to be having. And then you get homework. And a lot of times, guys, what I found out is that the problem, the culprit, is usually with the human. And they're feeding off of our energy and they're trying to please us. So a lot of times when they're acting out, they're trying to tell you something and it just gets stuck in the atmosphere somewhere and everybody's upset and frustrated. They get frustrated too, and some of them have real attitudes and start leaving deposits places that you don't want. But it gets your attention, right? So that's what they're always trying to do. They want to please you. Have you ever notice that pets start to resemble their owners? It's very, very interesting to me. I've seen people that love bulldogs, and no offense, bulldogs have their own kind of beauty, but they kind of look like the dog, right? And it's amazing to me. Now, I'm 5'10", Beijo is real long. I didn't know he was going to be like that, but he's very tall. Even veterinarians, we pull him out of the carrier, they're like, whoa, because he keeps coming and he keeps coming and he keeps coming, right? So he's huge, and they go, what in the, and I just pick him up, and to me, I'm like, what? And like, you are lugging this cat, but see, it's my baby. So how many animal owners do we have in here? Everybody? Good. Then you know what I'm talking about. They share everything with us. They're the best therapists you're ever going to get for free. They know when you're off, when you're on. Even you can fool everybody and you can't fool them. So the homework basically is there. We're the go-between, the liaison, to connect both of you. We know that you love your pets, so it's no disrespect, it's no criticism. It's just that everybody needs some help now and then, right? When you raise a child, you need grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles, right? So it's the same thing, okay? And then after you do your homework and you've practiced it a while, then we have a follow-up to check and see how you're doing it. Okay, and this is covered in about 4 sessions, about an hour and a half. If your pet needs more, then of course we can book a new session. So that's basically what it is. It's very simple. Any animal that I can keep in a loving home, I want to do that. There's so many that get unnecessarily kicked out for just not behaving the way the human thinks that they should, and then they end up getting killed. So any way I can participate with that, I'm willing to do it. I've done this for a very long time, before Beijo's Corner was founded. And I guess I'll just go right into this. I was a strange kid. I related to animals more than people, and pretty much a loner by myself, and I rescued everything. Any cat, dog, rabbit, bird, whatever. I just understood how to help them and place them in homes, the ones that I couldn't keep. My mother is extremely understanding and loves pets herself, but I just understand them, and I didn't know that this was going to lead me on this path, but it's just natural to me. Being a loner and different, I'm biracial. My father is Sicilian and my mother is African American. I was picked on a lot at school, and there was some bullying incidences that happened. And it's not something I love to talk about, but what I have learned is that I'm not the only one, that there were a lot of people that endured this kind of stuff, and animals were there as my savior. My best friend was my first dog, Peter, and I hid it, and he was the one that I really connected to. And so I know the signs of children when there's bullying that's happening, and a lot of times parents don't, and the first thing they do is you feel shamed and you want to hide and you don't tell anybody, okay? And animals are a great way to get them out of their shell, okay, first. And then they can learn how to be better socialized and get some friends and learn how to interact in society. So my story led me to Bejo's Corner simply because it just made sense to me. And I know that animals and children go together like peanut butter and jelly. If you have children that are raised with animals, most of the time they do better in school. Most of the time they're more obedient, they're more caregivers, they just are more balanced and respectful and less self-centered, which ends up aiding society, in my opinion. So this is part of what Bejo's foundation is about. We really believe in children being the next generation to solving this problem of inhumane treatment of animals. And plus, not to be on the dark side, but it weeds out the sociopaths quicker, okay? Because if they're gonna pick on somebody, they're gonna start doing it to the animals. And when you see that, don't ever ignore that, because it means something, okay? And the animals that I have placed, I really try to make sure that the home is a loving environment where they're gonna stay. The worst thing you can do, a lot of people that have animals, I feel they shouldn't have them because they're not an accessory like a nice ring or jewelry, okay? They are a living being and they have feelings, and when you just abandon them, they don't know why. They don't know what has happened. And right now it's getting better, but this is of epidemic proportions. So that's basically my story and what happened here. Next. This is my half little brother, William. And he passed away, unfortunately. He had a rare T-cell of leukemia. He was 7 years old when he got it, and I used to go to Cedars, and I've always written children's books. I like to write, and I would read my stories to him. And what ended up happening is a lot of little children were there, and nobody was coming except the parents. And they started joining us for these reading groups. And they started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And soon I would come and they would know when I was coming, and I had a whole room. So we got to meet the families and be involved with Make-A-Wish Foundation. And some of them we're still in contact with today. Unfortunately, at 11 years old, William didn't make it. And he passed. This was the first death in my family. And he just made me promise that I would share this with other children. So I'm doing that. And that's part of our series, Adventures of Bejo the Brave. It is not only just a children's book, but it's for future writers. There's a contest in it. It's interactive. It's simply illustrated, kind of watercolory. And it's narrated so they can get their bedtime story if they're small enough, and the parents can be given a break. And it's just something that unites family. I really believe children need books. The computer age is great, but they need books to unlock their imagination. They need books to help them with their creativity. And so this is my way of contributing with that. Okay? So right now, what I'm going to do, since I'm talking about the book, is introduce the lovely Sonia, because she got one. Yay!
Well, I wanted to share my story, and thank you for allowing me to do so. I read The Adventures of Bejo the Brave, and I read it with my daughter, Lauren, and I'm a single mom, and you know, I am pulled in 1,000 different ways every day, all day, and it just seems like the family time that I so desired was just so scarce. And this book allowed me to, the craving of the one-on-one time, it allowed me to bring that home. And I am so grateful. It was just such a lovely book. Lauren and I, we had the time, as going through the book, reading the book, we were allowed that time to take a moment to breathe and to come together. It's a very well-written book. It's illustrated beautifully. I would recommend it to all family members and animal lovers, as it's just, as you know, as Danielle stated, it's more than a child's or children's book and series. It's a godsend. It really does unite families. And so for that, I'd like to thank Bejo and Danielle for the opportunity in bringing that into my home. Listening to the audio CD, we were able to laugh and giggle and relax, and it brought it back. So I'm very grateful for this.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. Okay, I don't know where these people are today. They bombarded me, but okay. All right, so let's just go ahead and do it. This is, if you sign up on Bejo's Corner, we have emails that I send out that are updates, let you know what we're up to, help better your pet and everything. And this is me when I was about 7. And that's Peter, the dog I told you about. And we were inseparable. Okay, he was a little terrier mutt, and he wasn't supposed to make it. And he was the runt of the litter, and I just really nursed him back to health. I kept him with me, and he ended up being bigger than everybody. So see, who knows what love does, right? So this is an article I wrote on pets being the perfect antidote to bullying, and the signs that you can tell that your child or your loved one is being bullied, and what to do about it. The child's worst nightmare on the planet is for the parent to go take charge and rush down there and grab the principal and shake them. Okay? That's what they fear. But if you have a child, that's what you want to do. But there are ways to do it to get your child to open up. So this is what this one is about. Next. And this one is about getting people to really understand what kind of personality of pet that they have. I know when I place pets, I always try to get compatible personalities. If you're a very active person, you need an active pet. If you're very calm, the lady that one of the testimonials I have for the dog and cat whispering, she was an older woman, never had a pet of her own. Okay, is a giver, raised children, did all this, and she wanted a dog, but she didn't want a puppy, and she didn't want somebody that was really, really bouncy and jumping off the ceiling and all that. And I rescued this dog, and she and he were a perfect fit. And so now I named him Happy. He is her shadow. He's like a white shadow wherever she goes. And I mean, there's hardwood floors in the hall. Thank God it's not all over the house when I go to visit, because all you hear is tap, 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 because he is with her everywhere. So that's the kind of personality he had, and it matched her personality. And it's very important to acknowledge them, because they're not just run-of-the-mill. Some of them are ornery, just like people. Some of them have bad habits. Some of them like to compulsively eat. That's right. Some of them just, I mean, you know, don't want to be touched. Like, look at me, admire me, but don't touch me. And that might work for some people. So it depends, you know. Next. This one is about sharing goodies with our pets. We're all guilty. Okay, I know, you know, there was a stage I was going through called Ben and Jerry. And the cat partook, okay, so, but it's not really good for them. A little bit every now and then is fine. I prefer a type of goodies because their systems aren't like ours, although they're willing participants, aren't they? So this is what this is about, and I just don't know anything cuter than a little kitty cat licking on a ice cream cone. So what I found is some kitty sorbet. And I love it because it's been hot. We just went through a hot spell. All of you that had animals, what did you do for your babies? Now there are Bejo tips that are going to be coming out, little videos about a minute or two long. And one of the main things that I do is give you these things, all of this for free, because the better your pets are communicating with you, the better they're going to feel and the longer they're going to live. Because I don't know about you, but I just can't stand it when it's time to say bye. It rips me, okay? So what I really love about this, giving them their own snacks, is they feel like they're partaking in a goodie just like you. So there's no denial anywhere, okay? And when it was really hot, Bejo has been trained to have his little ice cubes. He knows what they are. We go to the freezer, he gets very excited. He has his own separate dish for it, and he loves just regular distilled water, filtered water, because you're never supposed to give cats tap. It really brings on kidney disease early. And sometimes he gets diluted chicken broth, and they love it. And the same for the doggies. It's great. They look forward to it. So next. You running around? Okay. So as you can see, guilty culprits, right? Guilty culprits. They look like they did it. They're not running from it. They probably were left at home too long, or maybe they just wanted to party and you know, they conspired. I don't know. But this happens a lot, and this is something we can help you with. There's a reason why the animal is this way. So that's what we're talking about today, and this has been exploding for me. Okay, so I'm very happy, and you know, if I can, like I said, just help the relationship, the dynamic, I feel better because I know they're going to be around for a while. Okay.
Next.
Yes. Have you ever noticed that animals have an edge on us for the most of the time? That they really, really, really are more accepting of something that is odd or different than them than humans. We're supposed to be the top of the food chain, right? But animals, really, there's been some odd pairings in nature that I love. And this is one. And it's not photoshopped, okay? It's real. And I've just seen all kind of things. Where, you know, a predatory animal will help and raise something that's supposed to be their food, and they won't. And I'm very, very squeamish about this. As much as I love animals, I hate it when they're killing each other. I don't like that part. I like the mushy, gushy, let's get along, fa la 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 la. I like that. Okay, so this is what this one was about. They were just, you know, hanging out and loving it.
We are getting a dog, and I think we're going to get a boxer. If we have.
Oh, those are great!
My daughter has one, and
where are you getting it?
well, she lived in Arizona, and so her dog is an Arizona dog, but they live back east now. So Abby is her name, and she hates the snow, and she hates to get wet. She's definitely an Arizona dog. So I fell in love with boxers, and that's what I want. But
They're
we actually
great.
have parrots.
You have
We have
parrots?
talking parrots, and they tell us what they want.
Oh yeah, they will. And you
They
better,
sound like my husband.
well, you better not curse around one,
No,
because
no,
they will
no
pick that up.
cursing.
isn't that weird? It's like I know a little bit of this language and a little bit of that language, and you always learn the curse words first, right? Okay, but the parrots, you can teach them cracker and all this little crap. They're like, okay, but you get a curse word going, and for some reason they focus on that and they won't let it go. What is that about? I don't know. I'm like, what did you don't even know what that means.
You can't undo it.
You can't.
We had a guy that we would, we wanted to leave the parrots home when we travel, and so we put an ad out, and this guy, a neighbor, answered. So he comes over to learn the ropes on. He never had a parrot before, and they're in 2 separate cages. So he comes and he gets all done, and he's walking away, and he turns around and he says, "Okay, parrots, I'll see you on Saturday." And he's walking out the door, and we have an African gray that he yells out, "Jerk!"
Did you teach him that?
You know, I'm sure he heard it somewhere. But Dawn came back, and he loves them, and they love him, so it's worked out.
Because I had an African gray, so I know.
Yeah, hers had attitude. It was
Yellowhead also, that would get us in trouble.
We have a yellow cheek.
oh, man.
She's really quiet,
Our
but
double
the gray...
yellowhead got us in trouble because we
Is the
had the
TV ever
door
on?
open.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, the TV's right, their cages are like in a little alcove.
Because
so
you don't realize
TV's
all the stuff on TV that they can
They pick
like
up
little kids, like little
everything.
kids.
I know,
Her
really.
neighbor
Where'd you hear that?
called
Where'd
her
you-
granddaughter. She'd go outside every day and call her granddaughter. And we had the door open, and so when the lady came outside to call her granddaughter, the parrot would mock her, and she would say, "Tina." The lady, I guess she got so sick of it, she kept knocking on our door. "Why do you mock me like that? Why do you?" And I said, "It's not us, it's the
It's the bird. Okay.
And you know, we tell the parrot to talk, the parrot will say nothing.
Right, oh yeah,
Say
yeah.
nothing.
Always make a liar out of you, all the
Yeah,
time.
always.
Tim one time had a plumber working under the house, and G-Bird is his name, and he started yelling, "Quiet, you be quiet." And so the plumber comes upstairs and he said, "Mr. Halchuk, you know, I can't really do my job unless I make noise." And he said, "Well, it wasn't me, it was the parrot."
I like that. There's a dynamic there. I've heard a lot about that. I've got to study a little more about that. So you can tell me you had smart aleck birds and
Oh,
stuff.
he is a smart aleck.
Okay. Well, this is, what do you guys think this is about? What's the cat saying to you? There you go. So this is like for New Year's resolution. I'm like, don't leave the animals out. You know, you got little Pudge. This cat is like, you know what, that's it, I'm out. And it's totally relaxing. I love this picture. This is my favorite part, finding these little animals. So that's what it's about. It's just keeping the balance for us. Everybody, you know, indulges a little bit too much now and then, and so do animals. You have animals that just love goodies, and I mean, that's it. And you have to be realistic. Not everybody's going to be an Olympian athlete, right? Right. So next. This is one of the best things that I think our little animals give us. They are an eternal baby. What do you do when your children grow up and they're not, you know, that size anymore? She's getting to the point where she may not want all that, you know what I mean? You always have that. See, that's why you have Bonnie, huh? And Bonnie, they can take what you got. You can lay it on there in an abyss. They're like, give it to me, right? So I love this because a lot of people that are lonely and they need some companionship, the best way to start is to get them a little animal. And when they have these little animals, I've actually connected people that are so stuck with their animal friend to other people. And sometimes they end up dating. And they have little hangouts and barbecues, and they have little things, and the little dog is there, or the cat, and the little carrier, or whatever, and they can just fellowship together. So it's great. It creates a whole community. Okay, next. All right. What do you think this picture is saying to you? Now, that is so much patience. I don't know.
And trust.
Yeah, and that's fine if the dog is up for it. But sometimes, you know, you have to watch children because, you know, they do stuff. especially little boys. They just do stuff. And I kind of feel bad for this dog, but he looks like he's beaten to submission, you know what I mean? He's going to be the next Picasso. I don't know. Next. Okay. I'm sorry, but the cat looks like, what the? Okay, but this is an article on bathing a cat. Most of the time, they're really clean, but they do have moments where they need a bath, and you need to know how. Or if you're a big chicken, find a nice groomer that really knows how to do this with cats and take them there. Personally, with Bejo, I did it when he was little. He probably gets about 4 baths, you know, or 3 a year. He's inside, so he doesn't like being dirty. But I would let them go be the bad guys. So I'd show up and he'd be like, Mommy, look what they did. And I'm like, oh my baby, come here, you know. So that was perfect for us. But we do believe in grooming. It just keeps them healthy. But I love that, look, that cat, the picture is great. Okay, next. And this is showing you how to exercise your pet. Dogs are pretty simple because we know about the walk and everything. Cats are a little trickier. You have to know how to motivate them, and not every toy with a feather on it does it, okay? They're very picky, and you have to get inside their heads and know what makes them tick. Because exercise is very important. It'll give your pet longevity. So it's all about balance. Next. So this is about something that I really believe in. When you have your arguments and everything, most of the time people don't see what happens to the animal. They always respond. A lot of times they will go hide and have to be readjusted to you later. Because at that point they have all control, routine is interrupted, they don't know what to do, they're freaked out like that little one. And there is a way to help your furry family member when this happens. Altercations happen just because we're spicy people. Okay, but you should always let the pet know, give them that reinforcement that their home is safe, that their environment is okay, and that you still love them and you still love each other. Or if something is changing, just go and talk to the pet. You'd be surprised how much that helps. It helps them calm down and it helps them trust you further. So when things like this happen, they don't feel like their world is falling apart. For instance, have you ever seen, if you have an argument, that the pet starts acting out? It's because they are trying to make you focus on them, even if they're being bad, then focus on what is happening. Okay? Next.
Oh, what type of kitty is that?
Oh,
Is that a Bengal?
yes. That is a Bengal. Very good. A woman knows her stuff. Okay. Okay. You know, some animals just got to go for it, right? So this one has been frolicking in the snow, having a good time, and you got to let them do that. Especially if you have a dog. Dogs need to be outside. They need to romp. It's very important for them to feel like their life is full and refreshing and exhilarating, just like us. They have to party too. Okay? Next. This is Bejo, one of our suckers. And Bejo loves his snacks, okay? And we have to keep them choreographed. When he does a good job, he gets a snack. Today is Saturday, so it's tuna day. Bejo is my husband's first cat, okay? He's a person, and Bejo has converted him, okay? Because they have, that's right, that's right. They have their tuna days, they play fetch, they play hide and seek, you know, they're hanging out on the couch watching sports. I'm not really into that, that's their time. And he does things with him he does not do with me, okay? And so I just love it that they know what to do with whom, okay? Next. This is what I kind of mentioned earlier. There are people that suffer from depression and all other types of ailments, and animals for the most part can get through better than a human can. I had a girlfriend that went through a divorce, and it was a shock to her. She did not see it coming. And I really got her this cat, okay? And they started to bond in a way where you didn't take away the whole pain, but she didn't go down that hole as far as she would have gone if she were by herself. You know, when you go through something like that, it's not just the pain of betrayal, but it's all kind of separation and just loneliness, and it can really just rip you apart. So animals are just natural at this. They know how to bond with you. They know how to get in those secret places if you're having a bad hair day or not, makeup or not, okay? Whatever it is, they know how to get in there and bond with you. So this is animal sharing, okay? I would say that's a porcupine, but it's a hedgehog, right? Right. So animals need to be social. Bejo, before we moved here, we live here now, the last place we lived, he had play dates. And he had a girlfriend, and her name was Fidget, and she's a little Siamese cat. And Bejo was fixed, she was fixed, but they loved each other. They used to just spend time kissing each other and grooming, okay? And it was the cutest thing I'd ever seen. Welcome, hello! So the thing that I love about this is there was a whole Romeo and Juliet thing going on. And he would go to their door and askily request for her to come out, so that they could hang out and they'd sunbathe, take naps together, do all kind of things, okay? Next. All right, I love this. Have you ever wanted to get a specific kind of dog and teach him for a trick and think you're gonna have him compete and everything? That's great if the dog wants to. Some of them just, you know, this dog is having a ball, but you know, that is the goal of the tire ring, and what he's doing, he has his own agenda, okay? So some of them aren't made for that, okay? And you gotta know what you're working with. And I know a lot of people that train their dogs for these dog shows, they can tell that immediately, because you cannot force an animal to be something of a show dog if it's not. It's very, very important. And I love this because my dog, I wanted him to jump through the hula hoop when I was little. I did everything, and he just was just obstinate. That's the word, okay? Obstinate. He knew what I wanted, and he just would not cooperate. I put, okay, his little snack through the hole. I crawled through the hole myself. Had me on my hands and knees, everything, and he just went around. He did all kind of stuff, you know. He jumped to the side like this one. So you gotta be very patient and not get frustrated. Next. Okay. That is Bejo. And I am convinced that whatever pets you have, they do things just to make you laugh. And when you laugh, they know what that is, and they connect with you immediately. And he just froze here. He's such a ham. He loves the camera. He loves just acting out. He loves it. So, you know, this is that long tail I was telling you about, and he was cleaning it, and he just stopped there and just looked at me. So, you see how long he is? He's very long. Okay, next. Okay, this is something I really believe in. Music is great for your pet, especially when you leave and go to work. We all have things to do, right? Pets love smooth jazz, okay? They love soft classical music. Those are the two favorite. They will tolerate your Jimi Hendrix, okay? They will. They will tolerate all this other stuff, but that doesn't mean they like it. I have tested this in so many homes. If you just leave them when you're leaving, because they all have this separation anxiety that happens, if you put on some low music, low decimal, of some smooth jazz is when you come back, they're like, oh, hey, where you been? Like they've had some Pinot Grigio or something, right? Okay, so next. All right, I love this. Now these are corgis. They're supposed to like water, but the person is so in there, you know, look, this long trail. The dog's like, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to. And you have to acknowledge that. There are some dogs that are supposed to be water dogs, and they're mainly, I can't think of it. I'm drawing a blank now. Your labs, all of those. Okay, and you know, I've met some that don't want to. So now what do? That's odd, right? That's odd. You know, and you have to understand that there's going to be some odd ones out the bunch. There are people that are supposed to just normally like things, and like women, we're supposed to love chocolate, right? How many women like chocolate in this room? Okay, see, now I'm more of a sorbet kind of girl. I appreciate chocolate, but it doesn't really do that to me. I've seen women, your eyes glaze over, right? Okay, that doesn't do that for me. So you can't put everybody in one bunch, okay? You have to look at them as separate individuals and see what kind you're working with. Okay, next. All right, this is bringing home a very important message. You have these animals, you have to pitch in and be considerate of one another and do your part. We live in Rancho Palos Verdes. I'm glad you like that, Christine. And it's a beautiful place. And when you go along, most people, okay, have dogs here or something, and you go along and you see some deposit there. Now they have the free little bags there, they have trash cans everywhere. There really is no reason for that. So this is just a gentle reminder. Even the dog is like, you know, let's work it out. Okay, so there you go. All right. Oh, and that is the end. That's me and Bejo thanking you guys for coming and participating with us. No, I didn't bring him. He's, you know, with the crowd sometimes he's like, you know, I'm really not feeling you people. So I'm just, so that's it. Does anybody have any questions? You guys came in a little later.
Yeah.
What are your names?
Leah and my husband Ron.
Oh, I got another Leah.
Oh,
Do you guys have pets?
we do.
Okay.
And so the reason why I was interested is because of your flyer that I asked about you, and they showed me the flyer and they said that you're a whisperer.
Yeah.
And I have a situation between two dogs.
Are they yours? Three. Oh.
3 dogs.
3 dogs.
3 dogs.
Don't forget about either.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, maybe you would have some information.
I would. What kind of dogs are they?
Well, we have a little poodle, and she's old and blind. And we have a English pointer. He's 3 and a half. High energy.
Getting on her nerves, is he?
No, he's great.
Oh, okay.
And then my daughter brought home, when she came home from college this last spring, a pup who's now 6 months, and he's half border and half German Shepherd.
Oh, those are hyper.
No, he's mellow.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
A border collie?
Yeah, he's really mellow, which is interesting. But
Interesting,
the thing is the
okay.
pointer doesn't like it. Not accepting, although the puppy's making all the overtures for friendship.
Yeah, they always do. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to get a little more involved to see them in action, but yeah, it's just a balancing act.
Okay.
And what might need to happen, I do believe you guys didn't come in a little earlier, but I was talking about homeopathic help. Just like you, okay? You guys look like coffee drinkers to me, okay? You know, some people respond differently to caffeine than others, and just some people might need a little chamomile tea at night to help them relax and decompress from the day and chill out. So there's some homeopathic things to take the edge off the older puppy, not drug him or anything like that, because I don't like drugs, but natural to help him calm down that nature. And then when he's calming down and you're introducing the puppy with certain exercises, it'll just balance it out. So there's a lot of ways to get around that. And the good thing is they're young.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Okay. So that's about it for today. We would love to work with you and your animals. Everybody is set if you want to buy some books or buy packages for your animals today. The Cat and Dog Whispers are 4 sessions, about an hour, hour and a half each, and weekly, and they consist of your consultations, your pet profiles, the solution and the diagnosis, and your homework, and then the follow-up. And usually, unless you got a really, strung out pet, that's enough, okay? And today, we're putting an extra session in for you guys that came, and they're $500, and the books are $25, and so yeah, there we go. So we'd love to get your email and give you some suckers and stuff. And for the ladies, we have manicuring kits and all of that good stuff. She's like, okay.